Mayor, members, City Council. I wanted to give just a very brief overview of some of the crime that has occurred, not case by case, but kind of just in generalities. First, I want to assure everyone there is no epidemic of violent crime in Elgin. All of our efforts that, when I say ours, the police departments, the community, the council, are still in effect. When we talk about the 40-year low in crime, the second safest large city in Illinois, 31st safest large city in America, all of those things are still in effect. But what has changed is the level of communication that we put out. And we put out communication probably, if not hourly, a couple times, or probably every couple hours we're putting out new information. And whether it's through Facebook, whether it's through our press releases, whether it's through Twitter, the neighborhood meetings, all of the different things that we're doing, the people in the city of Elgin know what's going on with their police department. We constantly say in the police department that the best defense against crime is a well-informed citizen. And so we put it out, good and bad, and that could be argued that sometimes we put out maybe too much information. A perfect example of that is this weekend. On Sunday, we had someone shoot themselves. But the information we had initially upon responding was that people lying to us saying that he was shot. So we had to put it out. We knew other people were talking about it. Social media was starting to act up, saying what's going on over here. So we put that information out, where in the past we would have never put that out until we were absolutely sure. And what happens is the detectives and the officers that were on scene did a great job and eventually were able to determine that the person did shoot himself. And so we can't put that genie back in the bottle, and so people then all of a sudden, another shooting. So I just wanted to assure the residents that we're continuing to make great efforts with all the different things we're doing, but we do have challenges from time to time. We do have crime in Elgin. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone, but the level of information that we get out to the public is probably unmatched from any police department. And so I'm very proud of that, but I just wanted to make sure as people are talking about it that they realize and put it in perspective, because I think most of the residents, we're just on National Night Out, people do have this in perspective and realize that a small number of individuals in Elgin do commit crime from time to time, and it makes the headlines, and we get that. But if there are questions, I'll gladly answer them, but I just want to make sure people understood that.
Okay. Any questions from the council for the chief? Prigge.
Thank you, Mayor. Jeff, Chief, what kind of response have you received from some of the crimes that have been committed where you're asking people on social media to forward tips or ideas or maybe some information, maybe a witness? Are you getting any feedback from any of that social media exposure that you're putting out?
We do get a lot of tips through social media, especially when we're looking for things kind of on the less violent nature. We get a lot of great information, found dogs, that type of stuff through Facebook. We get a lot of that. Actual crimes where a violent crime is occurring, someone was shot, we, generally speaking, none to very little, to the point where victims of some of these gunshot wounds will know exactly who did it. We know people who are involved in these crimes know the person who did it, but they will many times or most times refuse to tell us. Witnesses will purposely give us bad information. So all of those things make it more difficult. And it's a challenge that we deal with routinely. Our detectives are very good, and they get around that, but it is something that we do have issues with.
I know when you've been here and talked about your MID teams and everything that's working together on a crime, there's a lot of police officers that are used on a shooting. Can you give me an idea how many, on the average, police officers are deployed and are involved in, let's say, some of our latest shootings that have gone on? I mean, are we talking 5, 10, 15?
Probably closer to 20.
Really?
Yeah. From initial officers' response to the supervisors to the evidence technicians. I know the evidence on Ann Street, we had over 100 pieces of evidence that had to be collected, photographed, supervisors that are there, the detectives that later follow up, all those things. And I didn't mention, but I also want to, we're going to be putting out a press release tomorrow of a gang member we stopped with a handgun just last night, I think it was, or the night before. And not specifically with this case because we're not sure, but generally speaking, we're able to make an arrest or find a gun and then do some link analysis to where that, because we're able to trace guns, we're able to trace projectiles, we're able to trace casings, and then link those up to other shootings that have occurred. So many times we're able to make an arrest and then be able to link that to many others. So, like I said, I'm not sure that that's the case with this one, but I know we are making traffic stops. We get guns off of people routinely, and routinely being, I think we had 20 so far this year, but guns are out there, and people carry them illegally from time to time, and our officers are doing a fantastic job as best they can to catch them. But this last one was a victim, or someone saw the person pointing a gun and got a great description of the car, got a great description of the person, and called us, and we were able to make a traffic stop on the vehicle and find a gun. So getting that cooperation is absolutely essential to us continue to turn these tides. And like I said, we've had some things pop up in May, I think it was April or May on the west side, and we made a few arrests, and those those immediately stop. So it's, again, small numbers of people that continuously do this. And it's one day it's the victim, next day it's the person perpetrating the crime, and so it's a back and forth type of thing that goes on.
So you have detectives going from case to case, right? I mean, I'm assuming that you don't have 20 guys for this one, and then you have pull out 20 other guys to work on another violent crime, and then a third one comes up. You don't have 60 guys at your disposal, 60 new people, I say.
Yeah, detectives will carry over a dozen cases.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mayor.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Chief.